health.
Everybody should worry about their health and getting better instead of training to lose weight. When you train to lose weight, you're not working on nothing. You're just angry. You just wanna. So I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't care about that. You know, just let me just lose weight. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that we've been training to get better. I mean, I'm more happy now. I'm not always really happy, but most of the time I'm happy. As you know, it's a hurt business, but I feel good. I'm confident.
Angel, what was in that letter?
I know y'all like that one.
I tell Danny people change all the time. Danny had a great personality. I'm not saying he's a great guy, like quiet and humble. I tell him be funny, whatever. Because people like that. I don't know.
That's a lot of reasons.
I know people love him more now, but.
What it is, like when you losing weight, you don't feel like talking, you know what I mean? It's like bullshit. Like, so I was like, it's not have personality, but it's not in me right now because my mind is on like a cheesesteak or something.
What food do you miss the most when you're in training camp?
What do I miss the most?
What food?
Oh man, I just
Everything.
I eat everything, man. I eat donuts, like I should have been a cop. I love donuts, dog. Like, I don't know why. I wish I got a donut right now.
This is a question for both you guys. Now, Danny, you say that you're constantly fighting for respect with the fight critics and fight fans. And Angel, is it difficult to keep your son on track and not to deviate from his game plan? With just thinking about fighting for respect and earning that respect?
We don't do that. Yeah, we don't do it for the glory. We do it for him. Make sure he's okay. We don't feed it. That's the good thing about that. He's still composed. We don't feed it to him.
Right.
When you feed it and you're worried about the wrong stuff, you need to worry about his getting, like he just said 2 minutes ago, he's getting better at it. When you worry about the dumbest things, like watching tapes on another fighter, and the trainer's there sitting there 3 hours with the other fighter and telling him what to do, and then he's wasting time because he's worrying about the wrong shit. He's worrying about the guy in the video. He's not worrying about the guy next to him. So when they go to a fight, they're confused because half of the game plan goes south of the border. There is no game plan in boxing. You can have a game plan just because you for him, beat him with a jab, don't mean you want to beat him with a jab.
Right.
Don't work like that. People fall on the chest, old school shit, man. It's like hitting tire with a sledgehammer. Come on, you want to have a backache. You gonna bust your back, man. You better get good insurance after that.
Right.
Who does that? Who gets a backache with a sledgehammer? Old trick.
What do you
So
care?
we live in technology these days.
What do you care most? Is building that legacy or just paychecks that you're earning? Those nice 7 figures.
You know, I'm building my legacy. Like I said before, the legacy just comes.
Right.
It comes. You can't chase that. You know, you can't chase money either. You can't chase none of them.
You can't
chase money because
women love money.
You can't chase. Look, you can't chase.
Can't love money.
Yeah, you can't chase money because when you get desperate, you're gonna try to take the shortcut, and that's when you're gonna fail. You can't chase the money. So, everything I've done in the sport of boxing is for the love of the sport, and I was blessed enough to have a good team, and I was blessed enough to get rewarded. I was blessed enough to win world championships. I was blessed enough to fight on high stage. So that's basically it, man. When I started boxing, I didn't box because I wanted money. I boxed because I wanted a trophy. I wanted to show my friends my trophy. I wanted to show them, yo, I got a trophy, like, you know. I wanted to be cool in the neighborhood, so that's why I was boxing. I didn't box because I didn't know the value of money. I didn't know the value of $1 when I was a kid. That came later, you know what I mean? So, and of course now, you know, I'm a prize fighter and I got a family, so of course I'm fighting for the money. A fighter tells you you're not fighting for the money, then you might as well just.
You just said yourself, prize fighter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a pugilist, it's a prize fighter, so we fight for money. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, I fight for the love of the sport. You know, I was blessed enough to get a prize for it. I was blessed enough to win world titles, and that's it. Pretty much nothing else.
Hey Dan, when did you realize, and this I'll follow up with you too, when did you realize that you were actually better than good at boxing? Like, how old were you, and when was that moment that you realized that?
I always knew I was good, but I just think, like, when I was an amateur, I knew I was a good fighter. I was learning how to do things faster than other fighters. Like, they would be like, yo, I took that kid to learn a shoulder roll. I told him, like, you didn't learn that. You learned, like, a week. Like, a pullback, you learned it quick. So, I learned a lot of things quick, but I I always knew I was better, but I just needed to, like, I didn't care, like, when I was an amateur. Like, I just did it because it was fun. Like, I wanted trophies. But then when I got older, I used to go to tournaments and I used to hang around, you know, fight, and I'll lose, and I just go to the pool, eat hot dogs, and I'm living life. Like, I'm from Philly. Like, I get on airplanes, I get to travel. I didn't care really about winning until one day my pop was like, look, man, if you don't win this next tournament, like, I'm gonna whoop you. I was like, oh, you ain't getting none of this, you ain't getting that. I was like, shit. I was like, damn. After that, I won everything.
How old are you?
And besides,
When he did that, I was 14. After 14 or 15.
20.
No, I was old. Hey, you about to kill me at 12.
I didn't kill you. I just woke your ass up.
And Angel, when did you realize when he was better
than? He was a
than?
gifted fighter from the beginning. When he was 5 years old, I used to tell my friends, he's gonna be a fighter. He told me, how you? Everybody dreams big with the kids. If you tell your friend right now, your son is 5 running around, you say he'll be a fighter, when they're gonna look you crazy. And I used to say, no, he's gonna be. He said, how you know? I said, it's just something about him. It's the way he carries himself. We always was in the game. We've been around boxing. His uncle was a 132-pound champ, but not in the street, but he was in penitentiary with Bernard. He was the 132-pound champ when Bernard was the middleweight champ in penitentiary, in state penitentiary, greatest for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My cousin, my brother-in-law was a 132-pound champ. So boxing had been around us all our life. So when he was 5, I was telling my friends he's gonna be a fighter. They say, now they ask me, how did you know that? It was the way he carried himself. So I knew it was my job to get focused in life and discipline myself to focus on him, all my kids. But I had to focus. See, I did like the Jews. The Jews, they focus on the most gifted son. They love them all, but they spend all their money on the smoke. In America, they do it from the old. The older gets everything. They go to college. By the time they realize they spent all the money, he was the dummy in the family. I'm not saying that my son was the dummy. I'm just putting a point. So I knew that the youngest, not only the youngest, he was the one that I had to push forward. So if he pushed himself, me pushing him, he pushed the fence, what he's doing today. Because Danny's a good son. That separates Thurman from Danny. He asked, we never chased him around asking for fights, calling Thurman out. We never called nobody out. Danny did this from the muscle. We did this from the muscle. We did this from fighting whoever they put in front of. We never picked and scratched nobody. When we was with Shirley Finkel's the, I'm not gonna say the worstest manager, but he kind of the worstest manager. Okay? I don't know how he still got his hand in the cookie jar. What the hell's wrong with this shit?
And real quick, Keith, all week, Showtime, all access.
Not in Danny's cookie
yesterday
jar.
in the gym. His
He
whole
did
thing's
this shit
been,
right.
your daddy can't fight for you. You know?
That's obvious.
But you know, he's made it a point saying that it's not really, he's kind of taking the importance away from having your dad in the corner. But we go back to the Matisse fight, your dad slaps you in the corner, you're losing that fight, down a couple rounds, you charge up. You know, how important is that, you having your pops in your corner and that edge?
Just chemistry.
See, but you said he was losing the Matisse. You look at that tape, Danny wasn't losing them.
No, I'm just saying, yeah,
No, I'm not saying, I'm not talking about putting you down. What I'm saying is the announcers had him losing. The announcers, so people don't know nothing about it, they listen to that bullshit. So every time you listen to boxing, you watch boxing, turn your volume down. Judge it yourself. Get a scorecard. Put
That was
it down.
definitely the chemistry, though. You know, every great fighter has a good chemistry with a coach.
But that's a charge up, right? You know, having your pops there in your corner, that gives you that extra edge. It wouldn't be the same if he wasn't there.
Yeah,
No, it's never the same with your blood. Somebody that love you. Because you could have a father, but you know what I mean, he's a good dad. He could be a jerk. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is trusting the person. When you could trust somebody, look in their eyes and say, he really telling me, jump off the bridge, I'm gonna grab you in the bottom. Or say, come down this alley, a dark alley, and say, come here. Come here, I got something for you. Come get this paper.
Danny, you mentioned that your father said to create your own personality because you're a little quieter. He's got the louder personality, so to speak. But since you've been at 147, you seem to joke around and you seem a little more alive. Is it because you were having a hard time making weight at 147?
Yeah, that's what it was, man. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. That's just it. Like, who's happy after losing like 20 pounds? You know what I mean? It's like the week of the fight, you're doing interviews. Just the least thing you want to do is do interviews and talk and see other people drink water. It's like I don't want to be around that.
From a marketing and promotional standpoint, you're not as outspoken or X-rated as your father.
Yeah.
How do you feel that him, like being more so the mouthpiece for you, how do you feel that that's helped your career?
I feel it's good. Maybe I would be, but he said everything you need me said, and I don't even say nothing. So he said everything that I just come out there, thank you guys for coming out. I see you Saturday night. I put the hard work in, you feel me? That's basically it. But I mean, it's good. It's what rattles the. That's what people want to see anyway. I mean, people talk good about it, but people like drama. That's the life we live in right now. That's the era we live in where everything is an Instagram meme. So.
Yeah, so looking at the different reactions on social media, it seems as though, I'm not gonna say it seems as though, it is that you get a lot of heat because of your pop. So like I've noticed that people look at you.
I mean, he got his own page. Why don't come at him?
They look at you as a good
Why coming
boxer.
at me for? They scared of you. That's why. I think they're quiet. They think I'm sweet.
Yeah, they look at you as a good boxer, but then they listen to him and they be like, oh, well, we want Danny to lose.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
No, it is what it is, man. A lot of people want me to win, believe it or not. A lot of people want me to lose. I think that's where everybody. Maybe I might take a little more heat than other people, but it is what it is. At least I'm getting attention. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters wish they had attention. A lot of fighters wish they were getting, followers or comments. Some fighters ain't got nothing, barely. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed, man. I feel good. It is what it is. Pop's been talking shit for like 6 years already, so I'm used to it. I'm pretty sure y'all used to it.
Angel, what makes your son so much better than Keith Thurman?
The resume, not only the resume. Danny's a great fighter, man. I don't know if people don't see it, bro.
It's how I
Because
look
we're
at
working
it.
in God's time, bro. What happens is when you work in God's time, everything for us was never, like I said earlier, we never picked and scratched. Every time they gave me somebody. If you look at Danny's resume, I fought a guy. I always say this story because it's hard to believe this story because somebody look at me. I mean, that's one thing I will never do, lie to nobody. When we was in a 2-pound, Oscar de la Hoya and 2-pound Stevie, Danny was fighting on that undercard in California in the Home Depot Center. Danny had a guy with 6-4, a Mexican kid. Danny was 5-0. They came to me an hour before the fight, Shirley, because Shirley, we didn't start with Al-Hain. We started with Shirley. That's why I say Shirley ain't no joke. If you go through the career with Shirley, you better fight your ass off for peanuts, okay? Elephant peanuts at this. Okay, so they came to us 2 hours before the fight, said the guy you fight, he's out. I said, okay, Robert Diaz. Ask Robert Diaz, he's the Golden Boy match. Or Eric Gomez. Ask them if you ever turn anybody down. Anybody, first name. When Matisse said, jump in a little bit. When Matisse said, they gave me 5 names. Who you fight? I said, who's the killer? He said, this kid is the guy. I said, bring the killer. That's what we want. See, that was meant to be. But when you do like him, Thurman, calling people, that's not destiny. This destiny for us because we never called. That's this meant to be. See, he wanted it, so he predicted it. So that's not destiny. See, I'm superstitious. I believe in God. So that's the difference between Dirk and us. We took that fight out before in California, 28, 18 KO, 11 losses, southpaw. And Danny went out there. We took it. I went upstairs. Said, champ. Well, he was in the champ at the time, but he was the champ. I said, Danny, change the plan. He said, Dad, what's it? He was taking a nap. I said, you ain't fighting the kid no more, 6-4. This is the guy they got for you. 28 winning, 18 KO, 11 losses. Southpaw. He said, Dad, let's do it. Danny went out there and beat the shish kebabs out this guy. I always just tell him, if you can't beat a guy like this, but that's an opponent. His record's crazy, yes, of kid 5-0. He wouldn't have beat the macaroons up. That's what I needed.
You can stay if you want to get Keith right here. We're going to switch the fighters.
Thank you, Angel.
All right,
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. I don't know what his schedule is after this. I don't know if they can rush him out of here.
Are we done?
Yo, you don't want to. They're asking questions in there. Yeah, well, that's for sprint. I mean, whatever you want to do. You out?
exercises that you can isolate it
That'll
in.
work your delts a little bit. You know, there's secondary, there's primary, secondary, and that's a that'll work.
Work.
Knockout. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. Well, I was hoping to find the case. They wouldn't even let me get anything. What up, kid? It's more Rayfield than
Okay, your champ.
Yep.
Chris, do you already get more of him?
I saw the all access. I'm gonna ask the question that you hate, right? Alright, no, I'm kidding. You're like, I'm over it.
You ready for this fight?
Yeah. You feel ready? Are you ready for this?
Like I haven't been doing this for 10 weeks.
It seems as though that listening to you, you've been talking about how you know you had a left hook, Danny Garcia has a left hook, but this is the first fight where I've seen that in promotion you haven't really come off as confident. You know, it's almost like you look at it as it's really a 50-50 fight. How do you view that?
I'm about knocking him out, man. I don't want to hear that.
So you're going for the knockout?
Do I not go for the knockout? That's what y'all understand. First off, it's one time, all the time, KOs for life. All right? The model doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. The only thing is when a fighter starts showing me that it's not easy to get what I want, then I'm going to get the other portion of what I want, which is overall victory of the night. Okay? Did we not buckle Sean Porter? Was he not hurt several times in the fight? Okay, but for some reason, I don't know if it had to do with the car accident, the layoff, yada, yada, yada. When we connected with the one, we couldn't follow up. We did not shut him down. We did not put him out, okay? I promised myself if Garcia buckles the way that Porter buckled, we have to close it out, you know? But, I mean, I'm just tired of the fucking shit talk, man. Fuck y'all, what y'all want me to talk about? Don't y'all want to see the fight? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight. Because nothing matters except for the fight, you know? I mean, I can give you a prediction. The fight will end within 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever. But then if it doesn't happen, then what? You know, Keith Thurman don't know what he's talking about. Danny was way more of a challenge than he's like. Tired of all y'all reporting and all this other stuff, man. I'm a world-class fighter. No matter what happens, win, lose, draw, Keith one-time Thurman's a world-class fighter. Every single time I step in the ring, I give you world-class fights, okay? And I'm gonna continue to do that to the day I retire, all right? But the thing is, I just have a new confidence, man, and some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I talk about it a little, I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm spiritual, all right? And I've hit a certain place in my life now that I'm 28 years old. I've marinated in this world of boxing for a long time now. Okay, and I'm marinated in the world and I'm grown as a man inside and outside of the ring, okay? I do this for me. I don't do this for you. I do it for me. You help me because without you, there is no sport of boxing. It would just be reckless fighting. It would not be a career. I am grateful of the career that I have. I'm grateful of the career that I developed for myself. I strive for greatness each and every single time that I step into the ring. I have an O. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. My mama used to beat me, and my daddy used to beat me. Can you beat me? That's what I want to know. That's why I signed these contracts. I love the sport of boxing. This is a sport. I look forward to each and every fight. And now I finally hit a point in my career where I'm getting the fights that I want. They talk about Danny Garcia has a tremendous resume. A lot of people fought certain people that I never fought. Guess what? Those fighters didn't want to fight me. Floyd Mayweather never wanted to fight me. Do y'all forget that when his daddy wants to talk about I was a made champion, I was the interim title holder for Mayweather? They elevated Mayweather to elevate me, to put him in position to where he never had to talk about me. He didn't have to take Keith Thurman as a mandated opponent. He got to do whatever he wanted to do. He got to wear what we call the political crown. I'm not mad at him, man. I'm not mad at that scenario. It was a little frustrating having to deal with it, but that's what happens in the sport of boxing from time to time. And Mayweather has dominated the industry since he stepped on the scene. He was an Olympian, yada, yada, yada. He fought for that political position. So it's not like it was undeserving, okay? It just was frustrating for one person because Danny fought Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi never wanted to fight me. I wanted to fight him at one point. He got beat by AB. We never talked about it ever again. Why? Because I was interested in fighting champions. I've always been interested in fighting champions, okay? I mean, I wanted to fight Sean Porter when he held the IBF before he fought Kell Brook. Kenny Porter had an article statement saying, we don't need to fight Keith Thurman right now. We can fight him when he gets his world title, and then we can fight each other for a unification bout. He loses his title, I get my title, and then we fight for my title. Do I say he needs to go back and get a title? No, it's a fight that I always wanted. It was a fight that I was happy to make happen. Saturday night is the same scenario. Happens to be in the same venue. So, I mean, like I said, man, I do this for me. I do it for the love of the sport. I do this because this is what I've always wanted to do as a child. I am successful. A loss does not take away my success. I am not fearful of losing. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I hold no fear. For Jesus said, fear no man that wants to harm your flesh. I am a warrior. I've always been a warrior, and I'm willing to die in that ring. I tell my family, if I was to die in that ring, don't you shed a tear. You understand? Y'all don't fully get who Keith Thurman is. I'm somebody who loves to fight. But outside of the fight, this is a sport called boxing. Boxing also is an art. I told a person a long time ago, if you watch Floyd Mayweather, it's like watching a ballerina. It's finessing his way to victory each and every time. And everybody knows it's not easy to be a ballerina. Okay? It's not easy. You know? I mean, first off, a man has to wear little tights and stuff. It's a little demeaning, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, what they put their bodies through is strenuous. To be an elite athlete is strenuous, okay? But I have a love for the sport. This is my life, man, and I love it each and every step of the way. I love the history of boxing. I've loved the history of boxing for a long time. I'm a huge fan of the history in the welterweight division, and it is my time right now, Saturday night, to leave my mark and to be a part of that tremendous history in the sport of boxing today.
Okay, I got a short question before I let you get to everybody else. It's funny because Danny Garcia was just talking about how he's real irritable during the fight week. What's your weight? What you eat today?
What I eat today?
Yeah, what's going on? What's your weight? How's the weight?
We on a stay.
A little fiery today, bro.
We on a stay ready juice diet with seaweed and oranges and apples. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, fight week in general, and just getting close to the fight, being on a diet for anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks, like I tell people, like, look, I'm ready to fight, okay? Y'all want to talk this and that, like I am irritable. You know what I mean? I am irritable. But what irritates me the most is that every single one of these fights, I gotta put cameras in my face and be asked a lot of questions like I'm not ready to fight. Like I did not choose boxing when I was 7 years old. Okay? I could have quit at any time if I didn't want to be a fighter. I tell the amateurs that think about, kids that think about fighting, I say, now look, you need to understand that if you want to be a boxer, you need to be prepared to be hit. You watch kids and the way that they box, and you can tell instantly that they're scared to be hit. Now, I'm not saying go out there and get hit, But I'm saying you need to be mentally, physically prepared to get hit. So that when you do get hit, you don't get into that little scare mode, okay? I'm a visualization type of fighter. I visualize many outcomes. I visualize myself being up on the ropes, being pounded on, having him up on the ropes, pounded on him. I visualize taking critical blows. I visualize myself having to take a knee if I need to. And there's fights that have happened where the fight could have been prolonged if the fighter was smart enough to take a knee. If you have the skills that I believe that I do have and possess, it is wise to utilize that moment to get a recovery for oneself so that you can put yourself back into the fight. It's like a wave. There are ups and downs throughout the fight. The fight is not always going in your direction. Doesn't mean that you cannot overcome it and start to put it back into your direction.
Tallying on the confidence conversation, I asked Danny the same thing. He said he was so confident that if he lost, he'd be willing to grow a ponytail.
Hey!
If you lost, would you be willing to cut yours?
For sure.
So you're that confident that you cut the ponytail off if you lost, hypothetically?
Well, outside of that, maybe one time Thurman might need something new in his life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I have my mom too.
You know what I'm saying? It might need a change up. You know, it's been working for a long time. You know, in the amateurs they used to call me Samson. See that boy right there?
That's where you get your power from?
They say, yo, that's Samson. Watch that boy fight. He's about to fucking knock somebody out. Okay? And they, you know, I've had power for a very long time. I've been hurting grown men since I was 13, 14 years old with 16-ounce gloves and headgears. Okay? That's why this is not new to me. When you see Keith Thurman fight, you see Keith Thurman fight. You only get to see the outcome of certain outcomes, and you can multiply it by how many times you've actually seen me on television, okay? But that's not the whole totality of how good of a fighter I am. Everything that I've been through and everything that I've learned in the sport of boxing, you know? I mean, like I said, man, I'm living my dream. This is my American dream. I feel truly blessed, and I humble myself with that. That a lot of people have dreams, and for whatever reason, you know, maybe something happens in the streets, maybe they picked went down the wrong path and they never got to recover. Maybe something happened and they started to do, you know, they just didn't believe in themselves enough to give themselves that opportunity to fully live out their dream path. I've always loved being an American, okay? So that's why I wear red, white, and blue. I'm an all-American fighter. I'm an all-American champion. And through boxing, I have accomplished my American dream. For anybody who wants to understand who Keith Thurman is a dreamer. He's one who believes in his dreams. He's one who fights for his dreams, physically and emotionally, at all times, you know? And like I said, if I got I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, man. If you beat me, you're the better man than me. I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna shake your hand, I'm gonna say congratulations, okay? Because Keith One-Time Thurman is not just an average fighter. I'm not just some overrated fighter. I won 7 national titles in the amateurs. I was one step away from being the Olympian back in 2008. I know boxing. I'm like a pit bull. I was bred for the fight game, you know? And I'm here, man. I'm here to stay.
I think you coined this phrase. I think you've coined this phrase, true welterweight.
For sure.
The whole thing being true welterweight. Angel, just to paraphrase, has said, you know, you've been at welterweight for 8 years. You know, that Danny's actually the naturally bigger man because he's growing out of the weight class and getting bigger and bigger. Eyeball tests, you guys, fight week, close to the actual weight. What do you think, seeing Danny physically up close?
You know, he has put on weight. They've done some, you know, once when you move up a weight class, you know, every fighter doesn't walk around at their fight weight. So they're always naturally bigger than the class that they compete in, you know, and that's why they're trying to act like, oh, Danny's a welterweight. He's always been a welterweight, you know, we just used to cut weight. Well, look, I cut weight to be welterweight, okay? Like, that's what a true welterweight is. Somebody who, after they have cut weight, they sit at welterweight, okay? So, you know, I see myself as the bigger guy, you know. Looking at my record, I see myself as the stronger guy, you know. But he's probably had enough time now competing in the welterweight division, adding those pounds, cutting back less, probably lifting weights, doing some core work, drinking more protein shakes, whatever that they do. You know what I'm saying? But I coined the phrase true welterweight. I'm gonna take a Mayweather money team phrase, which is skills pays the bills. That's what's gonna happen Saturday night. Apparently, because he all about the money.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Nice work. The super heavyweight is
Yo.
Game, 'cause see the boxing voice.